Hi YouTube, I'm making this on a whim. It's almost 3 a.m. in the morning. For some reason it flashed before my eyes in my mind that I probably need to do this. I don't know why, I guess it's a good fitting end. And I guess I have an OCD if I just left this type of update thing on its own like that. It's almost 2.5 years since I started learning Korean. I'm just gonna get to the point. What I've been doing really quickly. I don't have any script or anything, so forgive me for all the the grotesque and rough outline of this video because I'm just on a whim right now. I'm currently, as you're looking at the screen, I'm currently watching a YouTube video, but it crossed to my mind because sorry, December, a couple of weeks before Christmas, and I kind of want to reflect on what had happened since the last update video and tell you what I'm going to do in the future. And this is going to be my last update video in the sense that if I ever make any videos in the future about Korean, it's going to be about like something that would help other Korean learners, either beginner or people who have been in an intermediate advanced level, because I don't see any point in telling you that, oh, today I started reading this book, I started watching this show, it's so cool guys, I can finally read more. Like that's, I'm way past that. I'm almost at the end of my first semester in university because the way 학기? Like 학년? The semester system work in my country is from August until, from my college, from my uni, I don't know what's the difference, from August until February, so I'm almost at the end of it, and college has been very demanding, I guess. I major in engineering, so something that I didn't know. I actually, most people look, I'm 18, I don't know what to do with my life, I guess. And actually, this recording is gonna sound so cool if I play it when I'm 40 years old, driving in the highway at 10 p.m. and it's raining and it's just dark, and my daughter is sleeping on the couch, on the on the passenger seat next to me, and I'm driving and it's raining, and and I'm playing some K-pop music from 2022, and then I'm opening this video. It's probably a full self-driving, like those Tesla vehicles, and I can just listen to this. Anyway, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been, as what most teenagers would know, not so great in the sense that responsibilities. Yeah, responsibilities, homework, all those boring stuff, assignments, group projects, presentations has been in the way of if I want to immerse. But if I get to the point, I have only read I think 3 books or 4 books, which is embarrassing, and I think 2 of them is short stories. You can actually show them. I'm gonna add it later on the editing on screen of the books that I read. I bought a book for the first time. I spent about 80,000 Indonesian rupiah, which is, I don't know how many is that. I would guess it's about 4,000 won, 5,000 won. I bought a book, so that was really cool. I bought it from Google Play Books because I don't know how to, I'm confused with the whole buying from Aladdin or Yes24 or what was it, the other one? Kyobugun, all these websites, or read books, yeah. And I also bought a second hand, is that what you call it? A used tablet, e-reader tablet that cost $10 from eBay. And now I can read on finally a big screen, not just on my computer or on my phone, which is very, very small screen and annoying. And yeah, I've been using that to also read Japanese manga, actually, for some reason. I'm not learning Japanese, I'm reading the English translation, obviously. But it's been really fun because I'm really into these Japanese science fiction. Is so cool, actually. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's what happened in life. And besides that, there's not much. I watch YouTube every day. I would say about 80% of the YouTube that I watch is in English, and then 20% is in Korean. That's in contrast to 12 months ago, 18 months ago. That's not impressive, obviously. And yeah, I also don't read that much. I read a lot still, but in English, obviously. I read this recently. I just finished. I'm currently reading Recursion by Blake Crouch, Blindside by Peter Watts. I think that was the author. I'm also reading this book from subreddit HFY called The Nature of Predators, which is really long, but I just finished it last night. It's still ongoing, but it's really cool. So all these readings are mostly also not Korean. Sometimes I also read Korean. That's what I've been doing. And now, the plans for the future. I have, for the past couple of months, thought about this on what's the best way to approach outputting, because that's the only thing that's stopping me from, like, okay, so an overview. This is very unscientific, very rough estimate, but this is my story, you know. So I hope this helps someone in the future. If any of you are listening to this, I probably, in my entire 2.5 years, which of course I could have done way better and way more efficient, obviously, now that I have the benefit of hindsight, I probably have seen less than 10,000 words. Like, in terms of like how many words I've read, whether I like the words that I've come across, the slangs that I've come across, the grammar point that I've come across in Korean, that's probably less than 10,000. Maybe I'm pushing my luck if I say 12,000. The amount of words that I've tried to memorize, probably not more than 6,000. The words that I might be able to recall if you give me the text and like be able to translate it in a given sentence, let's say, probably like 1,000. The ones that I can think off the top of my head is probably not going to be more than 300. So that's the nature of my Korean ability. Can I understand like podcasts or radios or reading a book? Yes, I can. But it varies wildly. Like, it varies so much. Like, I'm currently reading also 위조도, like the Korean books that I'm reading right now is 인형의 정원. I still haven't finished that. 마르타의 일, and also 위조도 베이커리. All these are popular books. I also have a lot of books that I've imported and I've wanted to read, but I haven't finished them. Sorry, I haven't started reading them, obviously. And in this book, 위조도 베이커리, obviously it's about food, you know, about bakery. And in just the first like 5 pages alone, I have more highlight than I've ever encountered before. Because there's so many terms about flour, about certain types of like cream, and also food terms, like chef terms. And so that was new. So obviously that has a lot of highlight. But then again, on another novel, I could go like 5 to 10 pages without having a problem of understanding anything. At least in a sense that I don't need to look up anything. It might take me a couple of pages to fully register what it means, you know, because your brain works unconsciously, right, at the back of your mind. And then you're gonna be like, oh, that's what it meant, right? And then after that, you know, I could go like 10 pages, 15 pages even, with only like 1 or 2 highlights. But then after that, just 1 more page, it's gonna be like 10 highlights, right? 10 unknown words or grammar points. But grammar is very, very rare. I don't know about grammar. Mostly like slang or a new word. And so, yeah. And then usually at the earlier part of the novel, I would have more highlight than the later part of the novel, because every story has or needs a solid foundation, you know. So they have to introduce a lot of the plot, a lot of the characters, a lot of the terms, I guess, and the feel for the story, the setting, the background. And so I usually have more highlights at the earlier parts of the book than at the later parts. But then again, it's different. If I read a mystery or a thriller novel, it's probably less than other books, you know. And surprisingly enough, a non-fiction book has less highlight. I tried reading a book about writing for like journalists, and apparently I can understand it easier than fiction because it's just non-fiction. It doesn't require, you know, a lot of like movements, because you need a lot of words and paragraphs just to explain a single scene, right? He stand up and look across the room, and then you have to describe the condition of the room, what's inside the room, the color of the shirt that he's wearing, and then the sound that he was hearing, or I don't know, the state that the story is about to take place. Whereas if it's just a non-fiction about health, for example, or writing, you can just tell stuff. And so I guess maybe reading non-fiction is a good idea. I've never read or finished a single book about in non-fiction in Korean, so I guess that's something that's worth trying in the future. And yeah, so I'm going to show you something. I have this open already. This is the list of books that I'm using, or I will be using. I don't know if I'm going to use it, obviously. I haven't done all of them, except for something that I'm going to show you later. This one is a 한국어 문장 쓰기의 모든 것. Got it from the internet. Before Z Library is down, man. I think it's the FBI and CIA or something. They shut down Z Library because a bunch of morons on TikTok. Thank God I don't use TikTok. I hate TikTok, man. They ruin everything. Anyway, moving on. This is another PDF. This is like reading, but it's like overkill reading. This one is the one that I've been using. I used like 2 months ago or something, but then I stopped, obviously, because of college stuff. I got until the third chapter before I stopped. And I actually posted some of the exercises on langcorrect.com, which is this, it's like Aglang, but the latest Aglang, because Aglang does not accept new members, so that sucks. And then of course I'm gonna redo all the grammar again because I'm about to output. I don't know the grammar. I don't think I need to do the advanced one. I've looked at the contents. I don't need to do the beginner and the intermediate. And the only reason I need to do that is because I need to consciously have a database, I suppose. Like, of course, if I come to, well, this is weird. My English is getting really bad. If I come across a sentence, either in text or in speech form from a video or something, that is gonna be easier to understand. Because I don't, like, when I see a sentence, I don't think about, let me just show you. This is like a overview of how my Korean is looking like after, not having been to intense or the immersion for a couple of months. For example, let's get a book that I read. I actually made these filters on my own, these Calibri filters. This is a book. Actually, this is the book that I opened right on the last update video, which is almost half a year ago, or more than half a year. So this one, let's get an easy sentence. So like there's like 부모가 고개를 돌렸을 때 이미 그의 사물함이 힘없이 흘리고 있었다. So like when I see something like this, I don't like see that 있었다, which means like past perfect sentence or whatever that is. Oh, it's a subject character or an object particle or something. I don't know. And then there's the and then there's the ten, which is like ten, and then which means time or something. And then which is the possessive particle. Like no one does that, right? So when you see something like this, you're just like, oh, okay, this is a sentence, and whether I understand or I don't understand. And if I don't understand, can I pinpoint the part where I don't understand? Oh, now, is it a word or is it a grammar? That's only when it comes to it. And you have to do that thousands of times because native have more than 20,000 words at their disposal. And so catching up with that over a period of less than 5 years is really, really hard. And even if you can do that, you probably have to obviously sacrifice a lot of time, but other than that, you have to narrow it to such a field that, like, even the best person that can use the immersion method to learn a certain language over the course of 3 or 4 years or 5 years, they can't talk about, I don't know, quantum physics or something, right? Because they just don't have the word repository. And so they can learn it, obviously, and their knowledge of and comprehension of the language is probably on par with native speakers, but you're gonna need a lot more than that. So I guess what I'm saying here is that these sentences, like the only thing that's stopping me from increasing my proficiency is to read more, obviously. Read more, consume more. That's the obvious answer. But if we're talking about outputting, which is what I'm trying to do, those books that I just showed you, I need to do that consciously because a certain, structure of sentences can actually be actively more memorized. I might have to use Anki again so that I don't have to weirdly choose a certain word, or I don't have to, prefer or keep overusing a certain grammar over the other. And that is really important. So yeah, I guess I just want to say that. And what I've noticed is that if I write something, it's so much easier to reflect on what mistakes that I made, because most of my mistake, I can tell that it's wrong, or it is wildly unnatural, very incoherent with how a native speaker would say certain things. But I don't know how to fix it, so I need LangCorrect and native speakers to correct me on that part. But I know that it's wrong, so that's, I guess, the benefit of immersion. So even writing basic sentences requires me to open the grammar book. But in terms of comprehension, of course, it's easier to just understand something. I mean, this is a common problem, for a lot of people who have English as their second language, is that they can understand, the language very, very well because they have exposure to internet, YouTube videos, and video games, but they cannot speak the language without a very heavy accent or a lot of mistakes, or when they write it, it's gonna be really bad. So anyway, that's on the output side, and that's what I'm gonna do, hopefully. I don't know how long that's gonna take, so if I ever make another video, it's gonna be like if I got a topic 6 or something, hopefully, or I have certain tips, I guess, on outputting certain ways or certain documentations of what I do to be able to speak Korean, and I may or may not speak Korean, or have to write in Korean or something like that. Or maybe if I go to Korea, I'm gonna be like vlog going to the library or something, which is probably the only thing that I'm gonna do, because I'm not that interested in going outside. In the sense that I'm a chipsuni, that's the term in Korean, chipsuni. I don't have social anxiety, thank God, but I just, I'm one of those people who prefer my own company, I guess. Like, I get a lot of things I want to do on my own instead of going outside. For me, personally, the world is, for now, obviously, probably it's because my age and my phase of life, the world is boring compared to what exists on the digital world or inside books or the things that I'm doing every day. And yeah, so I may or may not post on like Twitter or something of what I'm doing, but I think it's been like 3 centuries since I opened Twitter. So yeah, I don't want to make this update too long. This is my last one, obviously, like officially. Like, I'm not gonna make any more of these, like 50 months. It's been 300 months since I started learning Korean, guys. Oh my god, I just opened TTMIK. Do you know that? I paid $50 for a course, man. Now I can tell the difference between iga and urul, and I can tell the difference between 좋아하다 and 좋다, and then I can actually say 안녕하세요 correctly and properly with the correct enunciation that I'm indistinguishable from a native speaker. Fuck. I have the updated link for the book trackers that I have. So if you want to know what books I'm reading, probably it's going to be in the description. I may or may not going to put it. And it's been an honor. It's been a amazing journey. At the end of the day, I now know how to learn another language. I know it's possible. I know what kind of sacrifice is required to learn language. And obviously I could have done way better had I have this hindsight, read more obviously and stuff like that. And yeah, that has been an amazing journey. I started at the early parts of the pandemic, and I learned a lot since then. I have grown up as a person, hopefully learned a lot of things. But this is gonna be something that I'm not gonna forget until I die. And the community, Refold, obviously amazing. Bunch of amazing people. I have more than 25 gigabytes worth of books because of these people who spend their money but are not selfish to keep the books on their own but share it to everyone else. So I'm grateful for them because I don't have money, obviously, to buy all these books. I mean, I guess I can spend a couple if I really need a book. And maybe in the future I will buy certain books for outputting, like grammar books or certain books on speaking or pronunciation. But for like novels, I'm sad, all these novels is gonna take me more than a lifetime to read them because there are more than 400 books. It's crazy how many books. And the community before that, which was MI Korean, right before we fall. So yeah, that was just a pleasant memory. The highlight of my pandemic, obviously, because I remember my high school life. I probably go to school less than 6 months, like actually going to school. The rest of them are online Zoom meetings every day for like 8 hours a day. It was crazy. But after that I can immerse, or at the same time I was listening to podcasts, like a radio podcast from IU from like 2009 or 2012 with Daeon or something. And then I watch a lot of, all these K-pop videos and learn a lot of these slangs. Watch a lot of weird videos, especially Workman series by, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the host is Jong Sang-gyu. Very funny, and I learned a lot of I learned a lot of new Korean actors from there. Obviously, one of them is being BB. BB is right now very successful. I watch her career from when she has like very small amount of views. So I don't know. It was very 인상적인, 감동적인 추억 memory. So yeah, thank you so much. If anyone has been listening from day one, I guess I don't know why I'm making this. Honestly, I just don't want to leave it like that because the last video in my channel, the last update video before this one was just ended off in a weird note. So I mean, this video is probably more weird because I'm talking unscripted. And yeah, I hope that everyone who's listening, if you're just a beginner or if you're intermediate or if you're someone that's been watching from day one, I wish your journey in Korean well. Yeah, I don't even know why I'm learning this language, honestly. I have no clear, pure understanding of why I'm doing this. Some people are learning Korean because their wives are Korean or their husband, or they move in Korea, they move to Korea, or they work in Korea, or they're a student in there with a scholarship or not or something. I'm just a kid from a country that probably has nothing to do with Korea. I don't even know why I'm doing this recording on 3 a.m. But I'm really glad that it happened. I have zero regrets. And yeah, thank you for listening. I wish you well, fellow Korean learners. I wish you a good day or a good night or good afternoon, wherever you are right now and whatever time you're listening to this. I wish you health. I wish you a successful and happy future, and you're able to achieve all your dreams and whatever it is that you want to do in this world. Spread love, not hate. This has been me, your boy Chicken Wings, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.